It's time for another episode of Tucson Means Business, featuring Tucson's top entrepreneurs and leaders in the business world. And now your host, Mark Bishop.
And welcome to another show in these very trying times. Tucson Means Business, but we're going to continue on with business and help our businesses here in Tucson as much as we can. And of course, this is all by phones now. It's very difficult to have anybody in the studio together, but we're doing it. The wonderful art of technology, and I still got a good show lined up for you anyway, and proudly brought to us by the 49ers. Suffering like a lot of businesses are at the moment, of course, closed down in reference to the Rincon Mountain Grill, but you can still order and, pick up and take away. That's important for you to know. So it's just the restaurant, like every other restaurant, is just where people can't gather. And, of course, the other part is the gym is closed at the moment. And, there's the no mixing factor. But the golf course, ironically, is still open at the moment. Everybody's got measuring sticks. They're a good 10 yards apart or whatever they're doing. And I've got a hunch that'll probably close down soon anyway, but you never know. So without further ado, welcome to another Tucson Means Business. I'm your host, Mark Bishop, and I'd like to talk about a particular lady who's done a wonderful lot of things in her life. She's a licensed and certified BANK trainer. What on earth is that? Well, it's not bank as we know bank. It's a different bank. And she's going to talk all about that. Her name is Rhonda Peoples, and for 20 years, she's been very experienced as a sales consultant and a director of finance and insurance for an automotive industry. But she currently owns a sales and leadership business that focuses on women making 6 to 7 figures. Now, she's licensed and certified, as I mentioned, in the BANK methodology for sales training. This is pretty exciting, this thing. She works with businesses, owners, entrepreneurs, and sales consultants, teaching them how to use the bank system and to increase their sales, but in a lot less time. Welcome, Rhonda.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here with you this morning, Mark.
Well, it's great to have you. Now, you and your husband own a club basketball team, is that right? You've been working with kids for some 20 years now, teaching them life skills, love skills, business skills through the art of basketball. Well, what does that do for you? How do you do all that through basketball?
Well, many, many years ago, like I said, over 20 years ago, my husband he played professional basketball back in the day, and he had a coach that made a huge difference in his life. And, he came up with a broken family. His mother, very strong woman, raised him, and his father was not in the picture. He died at a very young age. And so this coach made all the difference in the world to him. So, it was really important to him to give back and to make a difference. He was a social worker for many, many years, working with kids. And basketball is his passion. So we've created a club basketball team called Tucson Shock. And for many years, worked strictly with girls, and now have picked up some boys, but also extending and working with more girls also. So just, creating that sense of community, but also creating the confidence and creating structure and discipline for children.
Yeah.
We find that we kind of indirectly discipline some of the parents through some of our rules that we have with the kids. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, that's great. That's great. And there's no doubt about it. Sport is a wonderful discipline factor for kids. You also sit on the board of directors of The Haven. This is a center for women of substance abuse that allows women to recover with their children. How's that going these days?
It's going really good. And the times that we are right now, they're really looking for people to donate some food and milk and bread and all the essentials. But it's wonderful. I love being involved with it because it's really helping women and children together get through some abusive times that we run into. And we all run into situations in our times. And being able to bring the children through that all at the same time and see that there is another side helps the women, but also indirectly helps those kids. But we're constantly expanding our services.
That's a great cause. Now, you also sit on the board of, not on the board of this one, but you're involved with 100 Plus Women. This is an unusual charity. It donates something like $100,000 a year to local nonprofits right here in Tucson. How are you connected with that organization?
I'm actually a member of 100 Plus Women, and I've been there for probably a couple of years. It is a great platform to have women come together. We've taken all the Tucson charities and we've vetted all of them, and we have a list of them. And what we do is we come together 4 times a year, and what happens is there's probably about 200 to 250 ladies now in the group, and 4 times a year we give $100, and then we come together, we pick a charity, they stand up and kind of do their pitch, and then we do 3 of them, and then we ultimately, the members get to vote on the one charity that walks away with the check that we have created from the 200 to 250 women.
So it's quite unusual. It's a different sort of organization. When you say vote on it, I gather that the women who are members in it, they probably have a favorite charity or one that they nominate.
Yes.
Is that how that works?
Yes. Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely.
That's
we bring
marvelous.
forth whatever charity that we stand for, and we allow the board to vet it and then put it on the list. And then you either vote for your favorite or you just vote for the one that you feel at the time, really needs the money.
You're volunteer for Downtown Tucson Partnership, Eagles Wings of Grace, and Landmark Worldwide. This is a personal and professional training and development organization that's been, in existence since the 80s. How do you get time to manage your 4 children, 2 dogs, and a horse? Tell me.
Well, I forgot also, I'm a vice president of membership for NABO, which is the National Association of Women Business Owners. So,
Right.
I fit it all in. I get to see my horse every single morning. I go take care of him and feed him. And, the kids are mostly out on their own now. I've got a daughter in Florida. I've got a daughter and son here in Tucson that are doing their own thing. I have a daughter that just came back from Ireland. She's playing professional basketball in Ireland.
Wow.
And so she's she's a pro now. And so she got back just before they shut down everything. But it's it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I love family, and I love the community that we all bring
Well,
together.
let me ask you, at the moment, are they all safe? We're right in the middle of this shutdown, and it's scary for a lot of people. That's really why I'm sort of trying to find out a little more about you and share all the good work that you do as well, because we're going to be leading into another area in this conversation soon. But are your daughters home or your children home now around you? Are they around the world? Where are they?
No. I have one daughter that is in Florida, and she is in the military, and she's also a respiratory therapist. So she works inside the hospital.
Wow.
So she sees this on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And I just really want to give a high five and a heads up or a shout out to all of you frontliners that are out there making a difference and standing in the middle of this pandemic.
Yes.
And making a difference for other people. And
My word, they do a
really
great job.
What calls to me, yeah, absolutely, is what can we do? And, she washes her hands all the time, soap and water. She uses the normal preventative measures to, wear the mask and to wear the gloves on each different patient. She has different gloves, but, they have protocol. And keep herself healthy and rest. And, that's really what it's about. She's very strong, and she is very, very healthy. So there's no concerns with her or really any of my kids. All of my kids are very healthy. They're all athletes, so they've continued to live that lifestyle. And so staying healthy is really what it's all about. Taking care of yourself.
That's good. That's good news. And I'm glad, it's sad news all around us, everywhere, every day, every night. And I'm so pleased to hear that with your children. They got to look after themselves.
Thank you.
Now, if you just joined us, by the way, this is Tucson Means Business. It's on the Business Radio Network and here at Tucson Business Radio X. And normally we broadcast live out of the Stewart Title Building, their corporate offices on Broadway here in Tucson, where my studio is. But for now, I'm at home, like a lot of people are, and I'm working this particular interview remotely. And my guests are on the phone. And I do say guests as in plural, somebody will be coming up soon that has got some very interesting information to share with us and talk about in the world of dentistry. But prior to that, Rhonda has taken her talents to the dental industry, working with Performance Partners. Now, they have supported dental offices for several years, and Rhonda Performance Partners have created a training program with her that includes the BANK methodology that I mentioned earlier in the opening of the show. And it comes with a risk-free guarantee of 10 times the investment on the business side. You don't get this often these days, but a risk-free guarantee, I'd query this, of 10 times the investment to the dental office's revenue. Is that right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's how strong we stand on our sales training and our coaching program that we've put together for the dental offices. It has been remarkable. That's
amazing. Well, we're going to dive into depth into this. I just wanted to check with you. You're married to, as you put it, the man of your dreams. Aren't you lucky? Where did you guys meet?
You know what? Basketball.
But of course.
He was my daughter's coach. It's kind of like dating the teacher. It kind of went over that way too. But yeah, he was my daughter's coach, and we were friends for a long time, and here we are. Okay, so what
about Heels and Wheels? Tell me about that.
Oh yes. Heels and Wheels is the name of my book. I started on it. Actually, I have a little bit more time now to really focus on it, but I came from the car business. I was in the car business for over 20 years. And, I share my story with a lot of people, and I had a great friend of mine he's a personal coach, and, he's asking me questions about being a female in the car business and, just the stories and the experiences and, everything that went on. And he said, my God, some of them are funny stories and just hilarious things that happened. And he goes, you really need to write a book. He goes, Heels and Wheels, right? And I said, wow.
Yeah, that sort of goes together. That's interesting. Yeah. So how long is it going to take you to finish this thing?
Who knows, right? Who knows? I got a lot of things on my plate right now.
Well, you've got an hour free between 2 and 3 in the morning from what I can ascertain.
Right? So, Exactly.
Now, Rhonda, people's sales and leadership training, it's about people getting what they want out of life. This is what you teach women. It's about standing in your power and getting into action. And you were searching for training content that would land better with women, and you found Ms. Cherry Tree's methodology of biology. Now, why did this appeal to you?
Well, coming from the car business and a very male-dominated business, and, when I started my own business, it became clear to me I had been invited from the Lean In organization to come and speak at one of their luncheons, and I did some homework and was looking on their website, and they had women in the workforce documentation. So I started going through, it was a lot of research they had done. It was actually for 2018. They also have one for 2019 and 20. And so as I'm reading through all of this research, it occurred to me, all of the statistics are showing me that there are very few women that fall into that 6 and 7 category income earners. Now, I had been in that category for many, many years, in the car business, but there's not many. And so I really put my flag down and said, you know what, I'm going to make a difference in this area. I'm going to make a difference for women. I love sales. I love being a servant and leader for people.
Are we talking frontline? Let me understand, Rhonda. Are we talking frontline sales like in a car dealership, right?
Yes.
And you're just saying, you're saying there's just not enough women there.
There's just not enough women making 6 and 7 figures, and whatever they do, we don't have to be in the car business to make 6 and 7 figures.
Okay, I get you.
We can make 6 and 7 figures in whatever business that we want to create.
But there are more and more women businesses now in America than there's ever been before.
Absolutely.
And in fact, I think they outdo the men. But that's a good thing. So the objective is because I'll say it, you've been down for years, $, when guys have got more money than women and women have done the same job or more. So here now you're saying, look, we deserve to be able to earn big bucks too, and I'm going to teach you how to do it.
Yeah. And it's not really whether we, I don't want to. I want to change that context a little bit. Like doing it for a very long time. They've created an infrastructure called corporate America, which has worked very well for them. They do wonderfully. Like it's been phenomenal. They're phenomenally successful. There's so many things that women can learn from them. But what I stand for is letting women know that they can make 6 and 7 figures too, and it doesn't have to look the same way. We don't have to go to corporate America to do it. There's the internet nowadays. We have a lot of gifts, innate gifts that we bring to the table. Like right now with a lot of people coming home and having to do business out of home, like this is our home base for women. This is like our forte. This is what we do. Mm-hmm. We know how to work from home. We know how to do that. But see, what's happened is a lot of women think, well, I have kids and I've got this responsibility and I have that and I have this and I'll never be able to do that.
Right.
And I disagree with that. I bring them the tools, the training, and the technology that allows them to be able to step into that arena. Now, we need the confidence also. So I have several women's groups that I do here in Tucson to create that confidence, to create that, wow, I never thought that I could make 6 figures. Well, you can. And I can help you do that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So really, you found this training to increase revenue, convert more sales in less time for women and men's businesses too.
And for men. Yeah, absolutely. Bank is designed to increase sales, like your conversion rates, up to 300%. Now, the way that works is like, just imagine, like there's 4 personality types out there. And they're so very, very different from the other. And that's part of what bank teaches, is it teaches that we take the personality traits that were created from Hippocrates back in 400 BC. And what we've done, it's been around for a while. So this is nothing that we created. But what happened was Sherry Tree actually took that personality traits and did a reverse engineering and created what she calls biology. And it's a set of values that each different human being uses when they decide to make a decision on buying into a vision, buying into a conversation, buying a service or a product.
Okay.
There's certain values that are important.
And by the way, listeners, we're talking biology with the spelling is B-U-Y, biology. B-U-Y. Okay, we got that.
Absolutely.
Fascinating.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to learn a lot more about it in a minute, and we're also going to find out about the alien dentistry industry. It's very important to people. A lot of people out there are scared stiff at the moment, and we've got some answers for them, what's going on, and I've got a very special guest coming up. His name is KevinEarle. He's an MBA and MPH and all of that and a lot more, and we're just going to take this break from our sponsor. And we're going to be right back here on Tucson Means Business on the Tucson Business Radio X network. So don't go away. I hope you're enjoying Tucson Means Business, proudly sponsored by the 49ers Golf and Country Club. And Lisa DeFalco is the Director of Fitness and Events. And I tell you what, not only a massive amount of fitness things happen at the club that you can enjoy, but Lisa, the events are terrific too. I mean, you've got so much stuff going on there.
It's a lot of things that are going on. We started doing some community events, community-driven events, just to get our name out there and let people know that you don't have to be a member of the community. You don't have to live in 49er to enjoy all the great things that we have going on at the club.
You've got boom, tree lighting, egg hunt, social events, wellness clinics. I mean, come on, tell me about these things.
Oh, well, the first thing started off with just doing a tree lighting. Every Christmas we do a tree lighting, and we invite a bunch of different local talents to come and participate, including the Little Ranchers 4-H Club, which come out and have a little petting zoo. And it's just a great opportunity for everybody to come out. Joe Finzik from Ace Hardware brings out his really amazing fire truck that's decorated. It's beautiful.
And the egg hunt, what happens there?
The egg hunt is for members and members' guests, and we have the Easter Bunny out there, and the kids. It's the cutest little thing in the entire world, and we have
them running around everywhere.
Running around.
What about the social events? What do you have happening there?
Different social events, like we have the Drinko de Mayo that's coming up. It's a fun run, beer run that we do around the lakes. and get to drink a beer every time you run around the golf course. It's a lot of fun.
Lots of events. And I think I saw goats there driving past one day.
We do.
What was that about?
We offer goat yoga seasonal, and the goats of Tucson come out, bring their goats, and it's adorable. You get to roll around with some goats.
As you can hear, plenty of things to do with the 49ers, lots of events. And Lisa DeFalco, she's a lovely person and will gladly speak with you firsthand if you really need to understand what would be best for your family or what maybe you want to, come out and have a look or get involved. They can contact you how?
By calling 749-4925, extension 211, or check us out on 49ercc.com.
Lisa DeFalco, the Director of Fitness and Events at the 49ers Golf and Country Club. Well, I mentioned his name being KevinEarle, Kevin B. Earle. He's been working with the dental profession for much of his career. He led, in fact, the Arizona Dental Association for 11 years, from 2007 through 2019. Now, he came to organized dentistry from a distinguished career in the healthcare regulation space, having previously served as the executive director of the Arizona Board of Dental Examiners, the New Jersey Board of Dentistry, and the New Jersey Board of Medical Examiners. He's an honorary fellow of the American College of Dentists, the International College of Dentists, and the Pierre Fauchard Academy. Woo! And he holds a BA in Public Affairs from the George Washington University and an MBA from Rutgers University or Rutgers, whichever one you like, and an MPH from Columbia University. Welcome, Kevin.
Great to be here, Mark. I am enjoying the conversation so far.
Well, you got such a list there, my friend, but I think I got those pronunciations right, did I? Listen,
yeah, Rutgers. It's the State University in New Jersey.
In New Jersey, yes. Now, every 14 seconds, we're going to get sad and serious. Someone goes into the emergency room for a dental-related issue. Now, emergency rooms are not equipped to handle definitive dental care, and with the government limiting many dentist offices to handling urgent care, some of them actually closing. People are having challenges, Kev. They're finding a dentist to treat their dental emergency is getting a bit scarce, or they aren't going into the emergency rooms out of fear of contracting this horrible coronavirus. What say you on this?
Well, the first thing we need to understand is that dentists are experts in infection control, and they have a long history of protecting both their patients from getting infections and protecting their dental team as well, and making sure that we have available personal protective equipment and that we engage in sterilization procedures in between patients. And we all know that the key to controlling the coronavirus is, of course, making sure that people are keeping their social distances, and also that we're taking good care of washing hands and washing equipment and washing, anything that potentially could be contaminated. So even going back to the original HIV days when HIV was first discovered, it was the dental profession that first came forward developing infection control procedures to be working in those settings.
We got a little bit of phone problem there with your line on that, Kev, but I've got to ask you here, Rhonda, now you're currently working in the world of dentistry, right, with your training and the bank. Now, because of the world's Crisis Performance Partners has launched a 24/7 emergency response campaign for dental procedures. Is this right?
Absolutely.
So tell us about this emergency response campaign.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll give you my input, and then if Kevin wants to add his angle in there too.
Yeah, by all means.
We work together. Yeah, we work together on this. But we have been working diligently, very late into the evening, putting together this emergency response campaign for dentists and for patients. And it really gives the opportunity for us to really highlight the dentists that are out there and open and ready to take on these emergencies. I mean, Kevin just sent me a picture not too long ago, a couple of days ago, of a young child who had fallen. Looks like he didn't bust the teeth out completely, but they were like folded forward,
Oh,
right? So, I mean, that is,
poor little fella.
you need to see a dentist. Like, you need to see a dentist.
And
So-
if I could jump in here,
Yes.
that particular case that Rhonda is sharing is a Tucson case. A young child that was seen in a pediatric dental office because they were available for emergencies. What we want to do, we want to make sure, is we're keeping those people out of those emergency rooms so that those healthcare personnel in the emergency rooms can concentrate on the folks that are presenting with symptoms associated with the coronavirus.
Mhm.
Right. Okay. So
Absolutely.
go ahead. Go on.
Yeah, no. So what we've done is we've created hotlines. We have a 24-hour virtual support system that is there for people to reach out to say, hey, my child has fallen and I've got to get to a dentist. Where can I go? Who's open? We've also put together programs for dental offices. We're actually reaching out to the dental offices today that are open to bring them into our network so that we can, fill their offices with these emergencies that are going on and really giving them all of the tools that are necessary and the documentation necessary to set up personal protocol so that, we definitely want to continue for this to be a risk-free opportunity for putting your staff and putting the dentists and even their families, right, in view of the coronavirus. And so that's why it's really critical to have this emergency response campaign available for the dentist and for the patient.
Well, I mean,
the key to this, Mark, is
it sounds like a great service.
Yeah.
We put together a screening protocol so that if a patient is calling in using our 1-800 number or sending in an inquiry through the website, there's a screening protocol that asks them questions about whether they have a fever, whether they've been out of the country. So all of those screening procedures are happening up front. And in addition, our dentists are going to screen these patients, hopefully virtually. So now we're starting to have the tools of teledentistry so that patients can consult with the dentist up front before they're actually physically seen at the dental office. So we want to be able to provide those tools for the dentist to accomplish that. Teledentistry is new technology. We've just passed laws about a few years ago that allows teledentistry to be used for consultation with patients. And in fact, Governor Ducey just yesterday issued an executive order telling insurance companies and telling our access program, which is our Medicaid program, that they need to make sure that for any procedure that they would pay for with a live patient consultation, they need to compensate dentists and medical providers for those procedures. So we want to make sure that we've got adequate reimbursement arrangements set forth, because if patients are covered by insurance, their services that are provided virtually should be their healthcare provider should be compensated. And likewise, even after that, our access program put out standards for the use of teledentistry with our Medicaid population. And you should know that we have an emergency dental benefit here in Arizona, so that if a patient has pain or infection, they have $1,000 that can be allocated toward getting that condition treated. And we want to divert those patients out of emergency rooms. So the challenge that we have with emergency rooms is, even if you do present there, the only thing they can do is treat the symptoms. In other words, treat the infection, treat the pain. They will do that with medication, but they don't have the ability to treat the underlying dental condition that's causing those symptoms.
So the emergency rooms, really, they're only equipped to to address the symptoms, right? Addressing, as you say, the pain or infection with pain medication or antibiotics. And in fact, the staff, too, they're not equipped to handle definitive dental treatment like fillings, root canals, or extractions, I guess. I mean, these are services that can really only be addressed in a dental office.
Yes, that's correct. And that's the argument we made with the state legislature, and that's a lot of my involvement with the Arizona Dental Association has been working with the legislature to make sure that we have those benefits available, because we were seeing thousands and thousands of patients that were showing up in emergency rooms without getting definitive care. And Access was paying the bill, the medical bill for those doctor visits and those hospital visits. So if we're going to spend money on treating those patients, we need to spend it in the right place.
Spend good money.
Yeah. Now, I'm just getting my head around this. So let's talk about how the process works for our listeners' benefits here. If you're experiencing an oral emergency, you simply call a number, right? Go from there, if you would, Rhonda or Kev.
Kevin, which one do you want to share?
Well, the website is usdentaltriage.com.
We'll do that again because we lost that in the call, I think. Just do it again if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, it's usdentaltriage.com.
That's so it's www.usdentaltriage.com. Is that right?
Correct. And Rhonda, do you have the 1-800 number?
Yes, I have a number, which is I do have a 1-800 number also, but I have another number, which is 561-337-4808. Now that's extension 407. And that literally, Mark, will come straight to me, so that whether it be a dentist or a patient, right, I can get them to where it is that they need to go immediately.
All right. Well, we'll come back on those a little bit later before we close off those numbers to make sure. But, of course, this day and age, the website is terrific. People can find those numbers, can they not, on the website?
Yes, those numbers are on the website.
Right. And I do have the toll-free number. It's 866-806-9469.
Okay. Now, we will mention for the person that may be driving right now, I know how difficult it is trying to get phone numbers of a podcast or of a radio show, so we'll go back over them. That's why I always refer. And in fact, I'll have these numbers up also on the Tucson Business Radio X site and the website address as well. And if you can't remember anything else, just go to our site and everything will be there, and the write-ups and photos of both Kevin and Rhonda and their histories and so on. So, you can make sure that you get in touch with the right numbers and the right contacts.
Absolutely.
Now, we talked about what's considered a dental emergency these days.
Well, the American Dental Association, which is affiliated with our state dental association, we were all connected together. They recently published a statement about dental emergencies, and these are conditions that are potentially life-threatening and require immediate interaction by the dentist in order to stop tissue bleeding or to alleviate pain or infection. Those kinds of things could be uncontrolled bleeding, swelling, soft tissue bacteria infections that can potentially compromise the patient's airway. So these infections can become systemic. If an infection, for example, is in the upper arch of the teeth or your upper part of your jaw, those infections can travel into the brain and potentially become fatal. The other conditions are really critical, especially if people have underlying health conditions. So if someone has congestive heart failure, for example, or lung issues, the bacteria in the mouth can be aspirated. And when that bacteria goes into the lungs can become inflamed and infected. And imagine, for example, if someone has pus generating from an infection in their mouth and they're walking around and they're essentially swallowing that pus. I mean, it's a disgusting type of an example, but that's exactly what is happening.
Well, it's a reality, and God, we got enough at the moment, and it's important, a service like this. I mean, the coronavirus pandemic, I mean, it's added so much stress to the daily lives of our fellow Americans. We can address the additional stress of finding a dentist through this particular system to handle an emergency dental case, because if you don't, what Kevin just talked about, if you can visualize what he just talked about, that sort of thing could be very, very nasty indeed. And I bet you there's other examples you could give us too, quite frankly.
Yes, I mean, as a matter of fact, here in the Phoenix area, we traditionally operate a program called the Dental Mission of Mercy, where we set up a 100-chair dental clinic on the floor of the Veterans Coliseum on the State Fairgrounds. And thousands of people line up because they have untreated dental needs. We do thousands of extractions and hundreds of root canals for these patients because they've got no place else to go.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, we don't have a good safety net system here in Arizona. And it's unfortunate that we have to get 300 dental dentists and their team members together to treat people 2 days out of the year.
Well, the numbers, every day we hear about all sorts of verticals in businesses closing, but it's not just restaurants, all sorts of things. Now, the dentists must be going through a tough time right now.
Yes. I would suspect that there are a huge number of dental team members who are unemployed or underemployed at this point in time. And dentistry itself, since we are on a business radio show, is extremely capital intensive, and there is very high overhead in a dental practice. So it's a challenge to maintain the flow and maintain sufficient income to be able to support those dental team members and provide services to patients. And do it in a way that that is economical. And the other challenge that we have is the extraordinarily high cost of dental education. Many of these young dentists are coming in and buying practices have an extraordinary amount of dental debt that sometimes can move up to the $400,000 and $500,000 range.
Really? I was going to ask you. I mean, I would never have thought that about this industry. But it's equipment and training, and you always pay your staff a bit above average too, don't you?
Sure. Well, let me just throw out an example. The little paddle that's used to take a digital X-ray that they put in your mouth, if one of those breaks, the replacement cost of that small piece of equipment is over $18,000.
Wow.
Good Lord. No wonder I've jumped up and down when I've gone to a dentist and I've had x-rays done and this and that, and then I get the bill and I think, for what? What? I scream blue murder. It puts a total different focus on the whole thing. I mean, so they come out of college, you got that debt. Then if you want to be a dentist, you've got the other stuff living, and then you've got to set up, right? Unless you took over from dad's. I mean, does that happen much, family dentistry?
Yeah, and that, it's rare. There are many dental practices that are multi-generational. But if a dentist has acquired a dental practice, they're generally not paying cash for that practice. They're going into debt to actually purchase the practice. So on top of servicing their dental school debt, they have to service the debt that's been used to finance the purchase of the practice.
Right.
So, it's a dynamic that we've been working on for years, trying to get control of those educational costs. And we're lucky here in Arizona that we have 2 dental schools that are producing dentists every year, and they're wonderful, wonderful young men and women. And speaking of dental practices, virtually half of each new dental class now is a majority of women.
Hey.
So we are seeing more and more women coming into the dental workforce.
Well, I got to admit, if I've got someone looking over my face there and, I'd sooner have a good-looking thing, and if I'm sexist or not, too bad, as long as she knows what she's doing. I mean, some dentists are ugly. I mean,
Hopefully you have some good-looking teeth she's looking at.
All the more to bite you with, my dear.
Take care of those teeth, and they'll take good care of you.
Well, the people don't. I mean, I've seen some incredible cases in the outback of Australia with miners and people who haven't seen, white people for years and years. And by gee, you talk about teeth, they're scared to go. But a lot of people are scared to go. And we're going to sort of circle around a little bit now and talk about the quality of dentists, the profession itself in relation to, just the cosmetologist type people, just the want to make you beautiful. Everybody can walk in the door and, if I drop 1,000 here, you're going to give me a nice smile. I think, to me, every time I look around the corner, I see this type of ad. Does this do damage to the industry at all, Kevin?
this is doing significant damage to the industry. And there, there has been an evolution into a lot of cosmetic dentistry. We refer to dentistry as both an art and a science.
Mm-hmm.
The science is evolving every time. There are new techniques, there are new materials that are being used that are durable and perform well. When a dentist puts the filling in your mouth, they want to make sure that it's going to stay in your mouth. When they're putting a crown on or they're putting a veneer on, they want to make sure that they're using the proper materials that have the proper strength, the proper adhesion, to be able to last for a generation.
Let me ask you this. I got a question for you in the actual, when you're in the chair, it'll show my age, but I used to love having the spit out. You get that lovely glass with the lovely tablet in it that was pink or whatever and had a nice taste in your mouth so you could get all the blood out and everything else. But now they just stick this thing in your gob and, it's all this suction and your tongue goes down with it. You know what I mean? It's
yes, it has evolved from the old spittoon. As a matter of fact, in my old office at the Dental Association, we had a dental chair with one of those spittoons, and it was going back to the turn of the century. As I shared with you, the dental profession has evolved, the technology, the equipment has evolved, and having that suction and making sure that things, particularly in this case, where someone has an infection in your mouth, you don't want that material that's coming out of the tooth that may have infective bacteria in it. You want that bacteria to be completely evacuated from your mouth, so there's no chance that you're going to be swallowing it.
Right. Fair enough, too. Rhonda, do you want to add to this?
Kevin and I have partnered, and we've been partners for a few months now. And I'm telling you, I am sitting here enthralled with everything that he's talking about. I have learned so much about dentistry since I have been with him, and since I have been involved with our virtual support system, answering phone calls, having customers call, setting up appointments, and listening to the stories. I've been going to the dentist my entire life every 6 months. Every 6 months, right? And I just don't know a different world. And I have really been exposed to a world that has really grabbed my heart. I have had 2 friends of mine die from the infection in their mouth that went to their brain.
Okay. Yeah, so I've heard and read about a lot of that. Yeah, that's pretty sad, isn't it?
It's incredible.
It should never be.
You just don't. No. But see, people don't know how important oral health is.
Yeah,
Mark, and the other issue is that there is a large amount of our population that have significantly deferred dental needs. They haven't been to a dentist in 10 years or so. Now, this infection and pain may be getting worse and worse in the midst of this crisis, and people are fearful about the coronavirus, but they shouldn't be fearful about going to a dentist and getting it taken care of. So the goal of our initiative here is to make sure that we identify who those patients are and that we feed them into dental offices that we are open and available to be able to address their needs.
Right, that's the key here. That's just like a 1, 2, 3 step. I need to go to the dentist, right, but I'm really not sure. I'm nervous because of the whole virus thing. Secondly, where can I go to do what I've got to get done? And thirdly, all I got to do is pick this phone up or go online. And particularly here, we're talking local Tucson, right? Or is this going to go national, Kevin?
Well, we're working closely here in Arizona to identify those offices that are open, but ultimately this is going to move toward a national initiative.
Well, it's a darn good thing and a terrific service when you think about it. I mean, I would certainly use it. You're working for me, aren't you, Rhonda? Technically, I mean, I just want the help, and I call you.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
we're launching a live. Our CEO of the company, Michael Bonanno, will be live Monday. I think, Kevin, is it Channel 3?
Yeah, I think on Arizona Family Network, you will be rolling this program out. We're talking to media outlets to be able to identify those folks, and we want to make sure that those dentists are out there that want to be part of this referral system, that to make sure that they contact us and that we can put them in our referral network, and that we have a whole package of services around this that will facilitate making sure that they can do that virtual consultation with the patient, making sure that they have a procedure set forth for their practice, and making sure that those patients are captured. And in addition, a part of the service is to allow the dental office to have 24-hour service to make sure that their phones are being answered when patients are calling them directly.
Mm-hmm. Well, there we go. So, Kevin B. Earle, MBA, MPH, working marvelously with the Arizona Dental Association. In fact, he led that association for 11 years. And his partner, Rhonda Peoples, here, working with this wonderful service. And what's the website again, please, Rhonda?
I'm going to give you 2 websites because I feel very strongly that I want to make sure that we have clarity on who calls who.
All right, that's a good idea. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, because we're talking to both people right here. So for the patients, for people that are looking that maybe their particular dental office is not open, or maybe they're not open at the time that they have this emergency, they can go to usdentaltriage.com.
usdentaltriage.com. Okay, that's the first one, right?
Yeah, so that's for the patients. Now, for the dentists that we have not spoken to yet, who are wanting to be part of this response team for the people in emergency care only, right? Only dealing with the emergencies. I would like them to go to Driven, DRIVEN, dentalmarketing.com, and then there's a / emergency. Now, there is literally a page right there in the very beginning. It talks about it, but then you can put in all of your information. And at the very bottom, it's going to say, how did you hear about us? And you put on there Tucson Radio X.
Or Tucson Business Radio X, if indeed they did.
Tucson Business Radio X.
Yeah, maybe a friend told them or whatever. So 2 sites, www.usdentaltriage.com. And for the dentists, www.drivendentalmarketing.com. Okay? Backslash. Okay.
Emergency.
/emergency. That's important. And the phone numbers again, but don't confuse it. What are the 2 main ones? What ones do you want people?
There's phone numbers on the website. There's phone numbers on the website.
We'll leave it at that, because if I give another 3 out, it's only going to confuse.
Yep.
The key is the websites, and the key is US. Now, there's no dot after US or anything, is there? There's just usdentaltriage.com.
Correct.
That's terrific. All right, that's the one to do. Well, I tell you what, you've opened my eyes up, and if I get a pain from now on, I'm going to go running. There's no way known I'm staying away from the dentist, Kevin, I can tell you that. But a lot of people do.
There are some absolutely wonderful dentists in Tucson.
My word.
They're all
absolutely. And they're willing to work. They're willing to work. They've got a lot of different creative financial areas for people that maybe are not coming because they don't think they can afford it. Because, Mark, you kind of said that. It's really kind of expensive. Well, there's a lot of options there that dentists provide because they really want to help.
Well, there you go, folks. You can't get better than that. So don't let the think it's too expensive or the fear of, hey, your health is number one. And what with everything else going at the moment, more than ever, okay, so think about that because you can't take your money with you anyway, so what's it matter? But they will look after you. This is a wonderful service, and I'm glad that we could have got on air with it today, Rhonda and Kevin, and slightly community service that we're offering here through Tucson Business Radio X, and I hope people take advantage of it. Okay, so thanks. Lovely speaking with you, Rhonda Peoples, and good luck with your career.
Thank you.
And same with you, Kevin.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mark.
You're welcome. Thanks to the 49ers Golf and Country Club, also there for everybody in the community at the moment. I hope you enjoyed today's show, Tucson Means Business, and it'll be on for some time here. You can listen as many times as you want, or ask friends if they would like to have a listen, refer it out so that everybody can get the benefit of this, okay? And you just go to www.tucsonbusinessradiox.com. I'll talk to you another time.